area where it has done nothing but leak out negative energy even into the surrounding areas, so much so that so many people, so many jobs are being affected just by the energy alone. And it's all negative. And I can't stand it. And that's been the other reason why I can't stand living here. I cannot stand the fact that I walk around every day knowing that there are thousands, if not millions of people that are being affected or attacked. Just even pets. I watched and saw my own family's pets, my aunt's pets. She attacked them. She tried, just because of the fact that I felt like I was bonding with a pet, an animal, for Pete's sakes, just because I was petting a pet. That they felt the need to attack a freaking animal because it was a godsend in some way. And that's sad, and it's sick. It's sick, and it's so sad, and it tells me, you guys have no business being in any power whatsoever over anybody. If you're going to attack an innocent person, an innocent animal, you have no business being in power whatsoever. I can't, it's beyond appalling. I've never been so angry in all my life at a bunch of military members, at people that I called family for 35 freaking years, almost 36 years. I have called the military my family. And to come to find out what you guys have been doing all this time, I can't stand my family right now. I love you all, but I cannot stand a single one of you. Seriously. Because of what you're doing. The people that are coming out, that are speaking out against this, I can't appreciate you enough. The people that have found the courage to come out and talk openly about the things that have been going on, and bluntly about what's been going on, I can't appreciate you enough and thank you enough for what you've done, because a lot of you have opened up my eyes to so much of this stuff. You can try to come over here and threaten me and stick your stupid constructs and your stupid pieces of energy to try to control me all your life. You can bet on me all you want to try to traffic me and so on and so forth, but your asses are going to jail. Period. I've had enough of all of you, including the people that call themselves handlers. Their asses are going to jail. I'm tired of it. I'll figure out a way. I know there's a lot of people that want to see your asses behind bars right now or worse. To be quite honest with you, and I'm a peaceful person, there's been a couple days when I've just wished, something. I wish you guys would use your own harp on your own selves and just leave, or go get on that rocket that you built to go to Mars and take it to Planet X instead. I don't care how you do it, but I'm getting really sick of you guys being on this planet and making it worse for so many people. It's not funny. And even yourselves. And then you try to blame us for what you've done. Or you try to turn it around and make it like it's our problem when it's not, and you know that it's not. And I'm getting tired of that. For once in your lives, you people need to take accountability for what you've done. That includes the $200 ticket that you gave me tonight for speeding when everybody else around me was going 50 miles an hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. But because I was going 40, 46, that you wanted to give me a ticket, which, okay, that's fine and everything. Yes, that was partly what set me off tonight, partly. But it wasn't just that. It's been a multitude of things, of expenses and unnecessary expenses at that, and them taking money from me when I needed it most, or trying to force me to pay for things that when I needed the money the most. And now I have a whopping $40 in my account. I don't have a job. I'm unemployed now. Haven't been unemployed for years, and put in countless applications, and yet for some strange reason I can only get $9 an hour jobs when I was working upwards of jobs that were paying me upwards of $12 and $13, almost $14 an hour. And I have a degree, I have a certification. So there's absolutely no reason for me to be working $9 and $10 an hour jobs. And that's the other thing that needs to stop. This whole, well, we're just going to pay you $9 and $10 an hour, or we're just going to take money from you and we don't care. No, you're going to give people the money that they deserve to be paid. This is stupid. You can't continue to keep people down and keep people oppressed just because you want to line your pockets. And for what? If you can't employ them, I'll come up with a way to employ people. Maybe I could just start employing people myself to get together and create a lawsuit and take all your asses out of power. And I'll be paying them $15, $20 an hour to do just that. And what am I going to do it with? The money that from the Fed, from the reserve. All that tax money that you people have been abusing and abusing. Because you keep talking about it. You keep telling me you've been using my tax money against me to torture me. And for these wars that I didn't want to pay for, I don't want them. Yet you continue to use billions of dollars for wars and so on and so forth just to keep these corporations afloat. Corporations that probably don't even need to be afloat, or are also in being used to oppress the public globally, or build your Agenda 21 bullshit, or build your border walls that I didn't agree with. What's the point? The Berlin Wall came down, by the way. I'd just like to remind all of you of that. It was built and then it came down. I don't really understand what the purpose is of building a border wall between the United States and Mexico. People are just going to find a way to get over it anyway. And yes, I'm going on a tangent. And yes, some of the shit that you guys have come up with is absolutely ridiculous. You keep building all these prisons, what, for the innocent? For all the people that you have pushed down into addiction or into low-paying jobs so that they can't pay their bills. So now you think, oh, now we have a reason to arrest you. And especially now we have a reason to arrest you because you won't play by our games. You won't play by our fake laws that are here to bring you down and drag you down and keep you so oppressed and so down, thinking negatively about yourself, thinking negatively about your life. And we're going to keep you here. And if you step out of line, if you do anything stupid, no, wait a minute, we're going to try to provoke you to do something stupid. It doesn't matter what it is. They've tried to threaten me to shoplift. I will never do that. Never have, never will. Except for one tiny instance when I was, 7 years old? 7 years old. I took a ring with me. I accidentally took the ring with me. I didn't mean to. I didn't realize it until I had actually gotten to the car. And I saw this little ring. I was in Colorado. It was in a hotel. It was in a hotel. And I was playing with this ring, and I put it on my finger. I forgot about it. I got back. I told my mother about it. My mom freaked out. She said, we can't go back. Anyway, ever since then, it's been, of course, always something that I would never do. My student loans are going to come due here shortly. I expect the United States government and the military to be paying in full for all of them. Not just for me, but every single person that has been inundated with student loans. Why? Because none of you educated anyone properly before you started to push loans onto us. So any lawsuits that are coming about these student loans are appropriate. None of us were educated properly on what to expect from these student loans. None of us were told a damn shit about life before, excuse me, and pardon my French. I'm going to be blunt, I did say that. But none of you told us a gosh darn thing to expect after graduating high school. After, what was expected of us. A lot of us had to learn on our own. We're still talking about it. How many years later since I've graduated high school? I'm even hearing people about it in generations after my own that are saying they don't know how to write. They don't know how to deal with their finances. They don't know how to do certain things that are an absolute necessity in our life, and it shouldn't be that way. Every single child, and I'm so thankful for those that are putting, education into place where our kids are educated on how to properly use the stock market, or how to properly use a loan or a student loan, or how to properly write a check without getting into any kind of a problem, or how to properly, budget for your own expenses no matter where you are in life. How to grow a garden, how to cook for yourself. Most of these things I was taught at home. I was lucky in a lot of respects. Some things I was not so lucky about, was not educated on when I should have been. I should have been fully educated on a lot of these things. Anyway, the point of the matter is that for the assholes that are targeting children just for the sole purpose of making money, your assholes are going to jail. Have a good day. Okay? I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it. There's no reason for it whatsoever. I'm pissed. The rest of the world is moving on, finding more sustainable ways of living. Solar energy is great. You people should look into it. Solar panels are wonderful. They're much better than paying $300 deposits for electric in North Carolina, where they can't seem to get their AC units fixed in time. That's inappropriate all the way around. You know it's freaking hot down here. Your assholes need to have, your assholes need to have an appropriate AC unit maintenance mechanic down here. Maintenance mechanic. You need to have appropriate AC maintenance down here. You need to have appropriate, you need to have a better electric company. Yes, I'll say it. Never in my life have I ever paid a $300 or $500 deposit for electricity. That's outrageous. It's outrageous. Of course, I lived in West Virginia and Maryland, and I thank God that I did, because expenses were actually pretty low as far as that's concerned. But I've never, it's hot down here. People are going to be using their AC on an almost constant basis, so there should be no reason for those kinds of deposits. You've got to figure out a different way to deal with it if it's mostly because of people moving and if they're mostly military. You can't keep sticking those of us that are non-military with the bill. I pay my bills, but I'm getting really tired of paying everybody else's bills at the same time. I've been a bill paying, tax paying, tax filing United States citizen for 35 freaking years. Never had a problem. I will continue to file my taxes. I shouldn't have to, but I will continue until the tax system is taken down, or at least reformed. Because I'm getting really tired of that too. I mean, you take whopping 40% out of taxes, and then you only give us back what? We only get to keep we get to keep 60% of what we earned, but it doesn't even feel that way. I mean, I'm missing $2,000 and $4,000 and $5,000, $6,000 a year, if not more. I can't imagine how much other people are missing depending on what they're doing. And I don't file for deductions. I can't file for much because I'm a single person. I don't have kids. So for people like me that are trying to do the right thing in life, we get stuck with the bill. And I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of paying for everybody else, or getting beat down because, in the times that I've been forced or pushed out of, employment, that I either have to wait or have to fight for an unemployment benefit that's barely going to pay my bills anyway. And, but then I get looked down upon because, you're taking money out of other people's, hard-earned money and taxes. Well, what about me? I've been working since I was 14 years old. The minute I was old enough to get a job, the minute I was old enough to drive, I had access to a car. I had my learner's permit. I was working. Even if it was just babysitting and mowing lawns, I was working. I've had my ups and downs here and there throughout life, but I've been working my ass off this entire time, and it seems like that's all that I do is work. I've hardly had, in the time that I've had to go to school, I've either been manipulated out of or pushed out of, so that I couldn't get my my degree. My last school closed down. I would have happily gotten my degree there, but they closed down. So now some of the education that I got there I can't even use, which doesn't make any sense because it's still education. I'm still educated. So I have all these classes that I've taken. Oh, and that was the other thing. Taking math and English again here. I mean, there's so many things that I could harp on about, but math and English, they want me to take it again for the third or fourth time in the past 18 years that I've been trying to go to school and finish my school, and I haven't been able to because it's always been something, either a bill or something else going on, lack of employment, so on and so forth. That has caught me off guard. So now they've been using it against me, saying, well, you know, if you're not gonna work your ass 40 hours a week and go to school, because that's this kind of situation that I'm in, or work these certain kinds of jobs because that's what we've deemed appropriate for you, and go to this particular school because that's what we've deemed appropriate for you. No. It shouldn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. And I'm so thankful for those people that think of other ways to deal with life and going to school and working and so on and so forth. I can't appreciate you enough either. You guys, you know, back in the 90s, we didn't have things, you know, apps that we could, or other ways of working. Now we do. Back when I was younger, we didn't have ways of, you know, easily getting things done. Now we do. So to those of you that are trying to make life better, again, I thank you and I appreciate you. I guess now that's left is just to find a way to, you know, put the assholes on a different planet so the rest of us can be, you know, fine and have a decent life here. Because what else are we going to do? I'm getting, you know. And if you'll notice, there's times where you'll find, you know, that I'm being repetitive about certain things or saying words over and over again. I don't know if some of you have heard that there's, you know, trances that they'll put people into, or hypnotizing them with, you know, either phrases or whatever else, and or even words. And that's to keep you on a loop. Again, it's to keep you bound, to keep you from being free, from having the education that you want, from having the funds that you need to go live your life. I just recently found out and have, you know, put two and two together where you wonder, you think sweepstakes or the lottery is rigged. It is. And I had to find out in the weirdest of ways that, you know, even the military or people I know have been playing that game where, you know, they, and they even do it to people that are, you know, in the running to win something via sweepstakes or via lottery. It's really kind of strange. They will hack the system. They will hack the system, and they will. It's just, I'm laughing because it's just incredulous, but they'll actually hack the system to make sure to divert whatever it is that you have won via sweepstakes to themselves. I caught not too long ago, it's been a couple different things that have kind of, you know, put me onto that whole scenario, but I caught one of the individuals that's been astral projecting to me and attacking me spiritually. She came over and she was trying to drive my hand one day while I was doing trying to do a sweepstake for a phone. It was an Apple iPhone. And I caught her trying to move my hand. No, what I did something. I think I had lifted my hand off and I caught her like try to reach through me and try to swipe. Like she was trying to swipe to make sure that I won that particular phone. Well, you know, I put in my entry went about my business, and of course never got it, which I thought was kind of strange. But later on, I realized that what's really been happening is that they try to get me to a point where I win these things, and they'll divert all that stuff, whatever it was that I was going to win, to them. I don't know how the heck they do it, but they do it because it's electronic. Of course, they hack it so that they can try to divert it to be sent to them. Sometimes these people will be members of the same institutions that you are. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's banking wise, whether it's sweepstakes, whatever the case it is. They will use it to try to get whatever it is that they're trying to steal. Today, this is slightly off topic, but today I found them, I was trying to get onto an investing website. It was one of the new ones out, like you've heard of Stash and Acorns. I'm not going to tell you which one it was. But anyway, when I was entering in my PIN number, I had entered it in multiple times. I did this a couple times. It was like one of the first or second time around that I was trying to enter my PIN number. For whatever reason, wasn't taking, which was kind of strange to me because, it should be, there's no reason for it not to. So I caught that they pushed my thumb to enter a different number. The very last digit was a 0. It was like whatever my PIN was, but I couldn't enter my PIN, so I entered 1110. And for whatever reason, and that's not my PIN number, but that was what unlocked the app. So they've been hacking into these apps too, to try to get, because if you link your account information, then they'll try to steal whatever your investments are into that account. And again, it's no offense to these financial institutions. Some of them are very beneficial. They can help you in a lot of ways. But it's been one of the main reasons why I've not really participated in investing. Yes, I will admit that. My entire life, I had some interest. I've been, educated on how to invest. Not as much as I'd like to be. I know obviously that there are people that have, that are very intelligent when it comes to investing, and they know what they're doing. Me, obviously, I'll admit I'm a novice when it comes to, working with the stock market. It's not so much that it's overwhelming, but it's a lot to, take in, and it's a lot to, really think about when you want to make a decision. For me personally, I take it that way. I take it very seriously. I want to think about, how I'm going to move in the stock market in such a way that is not just beneficial to me, but is a wise investment. And so I take my time. Not everybody does that, obviously, but there's been a reason why I've stayed away from linking my bank information, my cards, my credit cards, so on and so forth, to these apps. Even though it can be very beneficial, you have to be very, very careful, especially as a target, because and I hate using that word. I don't even really like using the label of targeted individual, because it's like a victimizing label, unfortunately. And I don't identify with being a victim. I'm not a victim. I am in some sense, but I'm not, if you know what I mean. Like I'm an empowered and sovereign being, but I use the targeted label so that people can understand what's going on, so I can explain the situation, what I've been experiencing, what others have been experiencing, how to deal with this spiritual or technical battle that we've been inundated with for not just a couple of years, but it's come to my attention. I mean, it's been thousands of years that we've been dealing with this stuff. Anyway, sorry, I forgot my train of thought now. Wow. And that's the other thing. Like they'll try to, and they're trying to, show their asses off. They like to do this where, oh, here we can make you stop being able to think, or oh, here we can stop your train of thought, or so on and so forth, or keep you unfocused, or play with your nose and play with your senses while you're talking to people, and so on. It's just because they're, they need their egos boosted. Don't feed the snakes. Anyway, the whole point is that golly Jesus, wow, I really lost it, didn't I? I lost my train of thought. The whole point is that you're not a victim, is what I'm ultimately trying to say. You're not a victim, and you're not a victim, and you don't need to give into see, it's funny, like you can move out of a certain space and then the train of thought will come right back to you. You want to know why? It's because right in this section over here, and you can't, I mean, obviously you can't see it very well because it's not visible. There's like, this is where they put this, it's like a cap, for lack of a better explanation. And that's where all the synthetic, or the RNM, is. And it's trying to direct you as far as where your thoughts are going, or wherever the situation is going. And, of course, while in the moments just led up to that brain fart, I could feel all these sensations like moving in and out of my head and around my nose and so on. And that was them trying to jumble and push on this